Hello there everyone, Ashnflash here, and welcome on into a LEGO DC Superheroes. I wouldn't call it a news video, I guess just maybe a update slash reminder to people. So, as always, I think when we talk about leaks, it's important to remember that everything needs to be taken with a grain of salt. Sometimes they come true, sometimes they don't. And I tend to only report on people that actually have credibility, and if you notice, if someone non-credible reports something and then someone who is credible reports on it from Instagram or like promo bricks or something like that, then it gives it a little bit more legs to run on, I guess, versus just someone making it up somewhere else or on Instagram just coming out of nowhere. So the idea behind the Tower of Fate, if you didn't hear, the idea was that it was going to be set number 76209. And the difficult thing when it comes to superheroes is that sometimes sites will actually have different things listed under DC and Marvel, and they'll get them confused. It doesn't help that the numberings are all the same, that they share the same numberings of set number 7620 whatever. So when set number 76209 was said that it was going to be a DC set, that sort of sparked the conversation of, well, what could that be for $100? And of course, now we know that it's Thor's hammer, but at the time, we were thinking that it was a DC set. And a lot of people just kind of start to, throw ideas out there. But it wasn't until on Instagram that some credible people actually were saying that it was going to be the Tower of Fate and confirmed that. And it's interesting because that to me just seems so out there that it almost seemed so realistic, because it's not something that you would expect. Like, someone's not coming out here and saying, oh, it's a fourth the Batman set and it's spoilery, or they're coming out and saying it's the Statue of Liberty. The fact that it's something more obscure, but when you think a lot about it, it makes sense in terms of the movies that's coming out and how that'll kind of cover certain things and elements from upcoming movies. So to me, I was all in. The minute that I started hearing from people behind the scenes that, like, this is happening, I was so excited. My mind started to go to all these different places. And of course, we did all the videos talking about that. And unfortunately, of course, it turned out to be Thor's hammer. Now, there's some good news, I would say, here. I know a lot of people are disappointed, in myself for reporting on it and the people for starting and creating this rumor, but I don't think something like that comes out of nowhere. I really think that it could potentially still happen, because the Tower of Fate is just so out there that it just seems to me like you don't just come up with that idea. It's not like someone, as we found out recently with Uncharted, that there was another land ambassador, Jay's Brick Blog, did this video talking about how he started this rumor to see how much traction it would get. It got the attention of like news sites and things like that, video game sites that were reporting on this. No one in the LEGO community, specifically the bigger leak names, reported on it, but a lot of attention was brought to this thing. And really fascinating article. If you want to read that, I'll link it down below. But when it came to this here, it could still happen. A lot of times with leaks, and specifically with superheroes when it comes to retail exclusives, those numbers are moved around I don't know how many times. I know publicly Thor's house, the Bro Thor's house, was moved around so many times. Publicly. Behind the scenes, even more. When people are sharing lists around and just saying like some of the things that are coming, that set was so many different numbers, and it doesn't help that they're all retail exclusives and they were trying to figure out where things go. So to me, I think that there's still hope for this coming. Like, I don't think that people were hearing, oh, Black Adam or whatever is going to come in the set. I don't think that's just made up, and I hope, and we'll only know, I would say, around the fall time. The other thing here, and I'll just show you here, and as you clicked on the video, and I've been using some of the images, this is created by TrueScore. He collaborated with me on the Suicide Squad CMF series, and he just did this mock-up and render of what the Tower of Fate could look like on the outside, and he did some of the characters and things like that. And it's very accurate because, of course, Black Adam would be smiling just like all the other supervillains and things like that. Anyways, so thank you to him for sharing his artwork, just like a mock-up of this to show you. But the good news is seeing this here, and I'm sharing this with you in order to bring up the hype of this, because the great news is, and Jay's Brick Blog did the same thing in his article, and he said when the Uncharted leak happened, you could see all the passion and excitement towards that. Well, the same thing can be said here. The passion and excitement for an actual DC set that's not just Batman based, that is obscure characters with the Zatanna and Black Adam and Dr. Fate and things like that, and Clarion. All these things, show Lego that, wait, there's actually interest in here. And when I review Thor's hammer, because I'm being sent it and it's the same number, I'm still going to talk about that in my review report that I have to give them. I'm going to say, by the way, just that you can have a little ad note section, I'm going to say there was a lot of speculation and a lot of people were thinking that this was a DC set that's completely out of the realm of comfortability. And I think that this is definitely something that Lego needs to look into. Like, there's a lot of hype and interest around, especially if there's already this interest now. Imagine when Black Adam comes out and Dr. Fate's in there and Black Adam's there, and we saw the hype around Shazam and how little Lego did for that. So going forward, I really hope that these videos in the past here, I know that, like, looking back, it's sad. Oh, it's now just Thor's hammer. It's an 18 plus set that'll just sit there, and we didn't get any other minifigures except for one. I'm choosing to look at this optimistically. Yeah, it could still happen, but look at what we did here. We showed that there is such an interest and there can be such a hype around DC, despite the rap that it gets from a lot of people, specifically, the Marvel fans and the simps. So when it comes to the future of Lego, I hope that they see this, and I hope that they go and they look at what people are wanting to do. Now, please do not at all attack their social media. I've already seen some people saying that's, you could start a hashtag, fine. Don't, you know what, even you could tag them, but please don't, like, when they post something about the globe, I don't want this to become a Star Wars movement. I really, it bothers me, especially when you think of, like, who's running these accounts. They have absolutely no say in what sets are going to be made. Absolutely none. So don't spam their social medias with, I'm not even going to come up with a hashtag because I don't want to give anyone that idea. There's already people starting to do that, and I don't want to partake in it. I've thought about doing like a one-day campaign of like make DC better or something like that, or revive DC, maybe on a singular day, but I know that people will still go and they will take that movement and continue to do that. I don't want to be associated with that. I would like to be on good terms with Lego. I hope, though, that in the civilized way, and just from looking at the interest here on the videos and the excitement over on Instagram and all the other forms of social media, that hopefully it is a message to Lego that, people are interested of things outside of just Batman. And I think that there has been many instances in which I can point to things and be like, look how well this did. Look how well this did. Like, you are letting things pass you by here. And I want to be positive. It's the 10-year anniversary. I'm trying to think that way, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this stuff. Be sure to subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss out on future LEGO Superhero set news and reviews. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.